Yeah, no, just go ahead and hit me with it.
So your mother and I are getting separated.
I've been there.
Yeah. The trajectory of this, though, is probably not like you and Olivia. The trajectory looks to be, Divorce. I have a hard time saying that word.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But,
Man, I'm sorry.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, July 6th. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So who watched Welcome to Plathville last night? I actually watched it on Discovery Plus. Do any of you have the app? Listen, there's so many apps out there, and this is not a sponsorship at all. I just was saying, thinking about how many apps there are, and so many of them are expensive, but I literally hate commercials. And I will say that Discovery Plus, you can watch all of the shows that we talk about here without commercials. Again, not sponsored, but if you can throw down a couple bucks during the year, during the month, it might be a good investment. I can't stand when you're watching on TLC's app and it's 4-minute commercials. I mean, at least let them be 15 seconds. Like the commercials in my videos are very short and you usually can skip right through them. So anyways, I was watching it while I was working out yesterday. Yes, I'm still working out. I'm trying to, at least. I'm still trying to break this habit of being super lazy, but I'm feeling a lot better and doing a lot more outside. So that's good, right? I'm totally rambling. So on last night's episode, Ethan Plath actually went home with his brother Micah after they had spent some time together, and they took a bike trip with their motorcycles and they went to Georgia to see some family while Micah was in town for his 21st birthday. So last week Micah and him went to a club with their with Olivia and whatever. And right now when this episode starts, Ethan is literally the only Plath that doesn't know about the split between his parents. And so Micah wants his brother, Ethan, to sit down and at least talk to his dad because his dad wants to talk to him. So for the first time in several seasons, Barry and Ethan Plath actually sit down and have a conversation. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. So, long story short, Barry actually calls Ethan while he's back in town in Cairo and asks him if he would be willing to talk with him while he's in town. And Ethan goes over there and he sees his dad. He's actually goes into the house that he's never been in, that home that they purchased in town. That's their larger home. So they still have the farm that they use as an Airbnb, but now they're actually living in town. And Ethan says, I will come over as long as mom's not there. Kim has to go out of the house so that he can come over, which she doesn't like, but she says that she's not going to fight him because she's kind of tired of that at this point. So what happens? So Barry sits down with him and basically tells him, listen, your mom and I have split up and it looks like we're going to be divorcing. And his reaction was he was completely and utterly shocked. He could not believe his parents were getting a divorce. And Barry just kept talking oh, this was your mom's idea. She says that I took her for granted and that, she didn't have a voice and I didn't listen to her and I probably should have listened to her more. And, she was always at home with the kids and I just sort of took that for granted. And I'm sure that's her opinion. And I have my opinions, but, he didn't go into them. Ethan's just sort of sitting there what? Huh? Totally dumbfounded. And his face keeps getting redder and redder and redder. And Barry says to the camera, I'm sitting over there looking at Ethan, and he's just sitting there absorbing the shock. I mean, the shockwave. He felt it. I could see it visibly in his face. And then Ethan said, I would say that I am upset for sure, but I'm glad my dad has actually wanted to tell me in person, you know? And Barry asked him if he wanted to ask him any questions. And Ethan basically said he needed to process it. He didn't even know what to say. So then Ethan goes upstairs and he's talking with his brothers, and he is like talking about how he's glad that his dad was able to tell him that, and he was happy about that. And he could understand, you know, he was totally shocked by the split, but he was siding with his dad at this point. And he starts going off about Kim. And he's like, I don't like that lady, and I can see why my dad wouldn't want to be with her. And, you know, he didn't have a voice with her, and she was the neck and he was the head, and he just did whatever she wanted. And he even admitted in his confessionals that he never really had a problem with his dad. It was his mom that he was mad at. He said he held a grudge against his mom and against Olivia for the way that they've handled their relationship. Micah gets mad at him and tells him that he needs to lay off and just like chill out about talking badly about his mom, because his mom has her reasons for leaving him, and maybe he needs to sit with his mom and talk to her to find out why she's wanting to leave the marriage. And Ethan's just kind of like, And then he says he has no plans to tell Olivia the details about the split. He'll just like let her know that they're getting a divorce, but he has no plans to tell Olivia any of the details. Like he doesn't want to bother her with it. He says that it's such a sore subject in their marriage that he doesn't want to bring it up or talk about it. And I'm just like, does this guy ever want to talk? Does he ever want to tell Olivia anything? So I watched the show and I'm like, why are Olivia and Ethan even married yet? So anyways, still married. So Ethan says he's not going to tell Olivia about it, and he's taking his dad's side, even though he hasn't heard Kim's point of view. And then Isaac says that his mom has changed for the better. She's like the cool mom now. She's like way cooler than the rest of his the rest of his friends' moms, and he gets more freedom than he did before. The kids are living so much differently now. Like Isaac has his own bedroom, and the girls have really big rooms. I mean, this house is huge. I think it's like 4,000 or 5,000 square feet. So it's a big house. They have a lot of space. The kids have really big rooms. It's way different than the way that Ethan grew up. And his siblings are growing up differently than he grew up. And it's clear that Ethan has a lot of unresolved issues from the way that he was raised. So he was kept away from the world. He wasn't allowed to have friends. He was restricted to doing about everything. And then now his siblings are getting a lot more freedom than he had. So their experiences with their mom is very different. Now, here's the part that I think is really odd is during the time that Ethan is over at his parents' house, Kim goes and meets her friend, and I can't remember what his name is. He's a realtor that's friends with Barry and Kim. And I thought this was really weird that Kim met with a guy. And I was like, doesn't she have any girlfriends that she can meet with? This seems really awkward. And the reason why I think this is awkward is because in their belief system, it's really uncommon for a man and a woman to be friends. And in the way that they have raised their children and in the fundamentalism that they're a part of, having a male friend and having like one-on-one time that's with someone that's not your partner, that's of the opposite sex, would be considered like super taboo. And so I'm watching her with this guy, and their relationship is way comfortable. And he's claiming that he's friends with both of them, but I'm sitting here like, he doesn't have a wedding ring on. Is this some guy that she's interested in? We've never heard of his name. He apparently helped her buy some of her properties. He's going to be there as much as possible for Barry and for Kim. And I'm thinking, is he trying to slide into Kim's DMs? This is so weird. Like, why is she meeting with a guy to have this conversation? Why are you confiding in a guy about this unless this guy is her guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I know you can have guy friends, but the optics of this world, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, just to give you an idea, I went to a church that was kind of like Assemblies of God light, and it's fundamentalism, just dressed up in modern day music and attire. And the rule that our pastor had was men and women couldn't be friends, and you shouldn't have lunch with anyone that's an opposite sex. If you're married, you shouldn't have business meetings with friends that are opposite sex. If you were in the office with someone, you should keep your door open. You shouldn't get together with people that are of the opposite sex, because it just lends a tiny little window of an affair, which we know is completely irrational, and men and women are capable of being friends. So knowing what I know about how my former church was, I'm like, this is so weird. And then she has the friend from the gym that's the guy, and I'm like, is Kim cheating on him? Is that what this is about? Is Kim having a midlife crisis and actually cheating on Barry? And this is where it all comes down to. And fans are starting to think that Kim is having an affair. And based on 2 instances on the show where she's got this guy coming over from the gym that makes the family Jamaican food, super nice guy, much younger than Kim. And then this friend that meets her out, and he's with her, no wedding ring. They're having such a huge personal conversation about her relationship with Ethan and the family dynamics, and he's giving her advice, and she's actually listening to him. And it's like, Kim's having an affair. I just want to know with who. Who is Kim having an affair with? Who is she cheating on Barry with? Who do you think it is? Is it the guy at the gym? Is it the guy that she met there? Does she not have any girlfriends? I mean, listen, I don't have a ton of girlfriends either, but come on. If you're having a problem with your family or with your husband, who are you going to talk to? I would go to a girlfriend before I would go to a guy friend, just because of the optics, again, because of their belief system. So anyways, Kim is having an affair, and Ethan takes his dad's side. Well, I don't know if Kim is having an affair. I just think Kim is having an affair. That's my hunch, and that's what fans think too. So what are your thoughts about that? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.